carton holds 24 cans of juice? Each carton holds 24 cans of juice. These aren't always that simple, right? But what if it appears on your test? The manager wants to know how many cartons are needed to package orange juice. So what will we put on the x-axis? What will we put on the y-axis? You can talk to the person next to you. Any ideas? I'm not going to give you the answer. Yep. Sorry, the number of cartons. Does everyone agree with that? Number of cartons are independent and the juice cans are the dependent. Oh wait, did I do the wrong? Yeah. So the total cans of juice, right? Which makes sense. If it's one carton, we know there's 24 cans of juice. 2 cartons, 48 cans of juice, right? So the y-axis would be the total number. It's usually the total number of something, and the x-axis is the cartons. Very good. Okay, so that is, these are good questions to review again before you do your test, and sometimes you really do have to think about it. Some are very simple, like the first one, but it got more complicated, right, as we went on. So keep it on. Okay, so we're going to determine the equation of a line that passes through the following points. So we know the equation of a line is y is equal to mx plus b, right? But we're just given 2 random points on the line. So let's figure out how we're going to do this. Copy down the question. And we're going to use the slope. Okay. So I know that my slope equation, m, is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, very important when you're doing questions like this, I always, even now, still label my first point as x1, y1, and my second point x2, y2. x1, y1, x2, y2, okay? That makes it very simple for you to visualize what each number represents, so you can then plug it into your formula. So I want someone to do that and tell me y2 is 2 minus 7, x2 is 3, my x1, be careful, it's a negative 2. So I want you to tell me what your final slope is. So 2 minus 7 divided by 3 minus negative 2. What is my slope going to be? Anyone know? Yep. Okay, Allegra got negative 1. Let's see if that makes sense. 2 minus 7 is negative 5. 3 minus negative 2 is positive 5. Is negative 5 divided by positive 5 negative 1? Yes, so Allegra is right. So we know that the slope is equal to negative 1. Do we know the y-intercept at all? Do we know the y-intercept at all? Kiana, do we know the y-intercept? Is it anywhere in the question? No, we don't know the y-intercept. So when you are given 2 random points, what you're going to do is pick one of the points. So I decided to pick point B, 3, 2. Doesn't really matter which point you pick, but I decided to pick that point. So I'm going to let x equal 3, y equal 2, and we already know that our slope is equal to negative 1. With this information, you are going to plug this information into the equation of a line. Y is equal to mx plus b. So instead of y, I plugged in positive 2. Instead of m, negative 1. Instead of x, positive 3. And then I don't know what b is. So when you do that, you get 2 minus 3 is equal to b, but we want to move all the numbers over to one side. So, I kind of skipped a step here. 2 is equal to negative 3 plus b. Then, to move all the numbers to one side, we make the negative 3, we turn it into a positive 3, move it over to the other side, so that b is equal to positive 5. So once you know that b is equal to positive 5, we can substitute the terms back into y is equal to mx plus b. Instead of b, I have positive 5. Instead of m, I have a negative 1. So the final equation is y is equal to negative x plus 5. Does everyone understand that? So this is when you're given 2 random points, okay? You always follow these steps. Step 1 was finding out what the slope is. Step 2 was picking one of the points and plugging it into the equation of the line to solve for b. This is pretty much the same thing, except it's a little bit easier. In this particular question, we were given the slope is equal to negative 2, and I was only given 1 point. So I did the exact same thing. It's just instead of 2 steps, we could do this in 1 step. The slope, the y-intercept is positive 11. The slope is negative 2. That's what we were given. So you plug it into the equation of the line, okay? So this is just another example for you to copy down. Okay, so I just want to take a look at something. Give you a second to copy this down. Now this Unit 7, some of you have pretty much finished your Unit 7 guide, but you need to finish your seminar sheet before you can hand it in. Please put your name. I'm not going to ask you to finish them today, but you do need to hand it in with your completed Unit 7 guide, so please don't lose it. And for the rest of the period, you are going to be working on your seminar sheet. Oh, because I'm plugging it in back into the equation y is equal to mx plus b. It's a negative 2x. So my slope is negative 2, right? Yeah. Yeah. I'll write it on the board so you can see that. There you go. For the most part, guys, if you've written tests, I marked most of the tests, except for maybe the ones written on Thursday, Friday last week. You're welcome. Here you go. So just like the last question, y is equal to mx plus b. All I did was substitute the values for m and substitute the values for b to get the final equation. Now sometimes you're going to have an equation like 2x plus 5y minus 7 is equal to 0. These equations are equations like this are called standard form when everything is on one side. And in order to work with the equation or identify the slope and the y-intercept, you have to convert it back into, change it into y is equal to mx plus b form.